In this video, we're going to change the oil on a 2013 Ford Escape. Here are the items that you're going to need. Tools, filter, oil. You need something to catch the oil. You need a funnel. Let's get started. This is a 2013 Ford Escape. We're going to do an oil change. The first thing you want to do is you want to pop the hood. The lever is on the side, right in front of the door. Once the hood is released, we're going to lift it. There's a little lever underneath. You got to reach for it, move it to the side, and you're going to raise the hood and prop the hood up with the prop. Make sure you don't hit your hood on the top or on your garage door. Here's where you fill the oil, and here's the dipstick where you check the level. We're going to come back to that later. I highly recommend using ramps to bring the car up. That way you can get underneath the car. The other option is you can jack the car up and put it on jack stands, but it's a little more dangerous. This way you can drive the car up and you can get under the car and you can do what needs to be done. You're going to need to start a couple of tools. You'll need a ratchet, probably an extension, and this is called a Torx socket. It basically looks like almost like a star in a way. This is a number 30 Torx. You'll also need a 7mm socket, and that's just to remove the shroud that's underneath the car, so you can access the oil filter and also the drain plug. When you get out under the car, you're going to need to take the shroud off, and here's where you need your Torx socket. Make sure you reverse it. It's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and there's about between 5 and 6 of these, maybe 7 total. Doesn't matter how fast forward this anyway. You're going to remove the shroud so you can access the oil filter and also the oil drain. There's the oil filter. Right up in the front is the oil filter. You cannot miss it. And right behind the oil pan is the oil drain plug. Again, once you get the shroud off and you access the oil filter and the drain plug, it's a very smart idea to protect the floor with a piece of cardboard. This is all we have today. And make sure you have an oil drain pan that you can catch the oil. The wrench you're going to need to remove the plug is a metric size. This is a Ford, but it requires a 15mm, and we're going to put it on a 3/8" drive, and we're going to remove the plug. Remember, when this plug is loose, the oil is going to fly right out of there, so maybe make sure you have the drain pan in the proper position and something underneath it to protect it.
The one more leverage.
And we decided to use a longer ratchet for more leverage. We'll put these gloves on to make sure we don't get our hands all oily. Remember, it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Get out of the way quickly as soon as it drops, as soon as it starts draining. Good job. And see, that's the reason why you want to catch the oil in the drain pan, and also make sure you have a piece of cardboard under there, because you might have to move it really quick and you can potentially make a huge mess on your driveway, and nobody likes that. Alright, so once most of the oil is drained out, you can leave the plug out for a moment, and now we're going to simply unscrew the filter, and that's done by hand. Now remember, when you take this filter out, you're going to lose some more oil, so make sure that your oil pan is underneath it to catch the oil before you totally unscrew the filter. Also, these filters tend to slip out of your hand too, because they're very slippery from the oil, so hold on to it tight, and because if it falls into the pan, it's going to splash you in the face. We're going to let that drip for another minute or two. Here is your FRAM Extra Guard PH3614. It's an aftermarket filter, and it's a good filter. And here is your full synthetic 5W20. We're using Valvoline oil. It was on sale, and we're going to add that after. But first things first, let me show you what to do with this filter. This is an old trick. You're always supposed to moisten up the seal on the top of these filters, and by doing it, you just simply take a little oil off your little of the old oil. If you want, you can use some of the new oil, but mainly what you're doing is you're just wetting the seal before you screw it on. Oops. Now you're going to take this filter and you're going to turn it in by hand. Never use a wrench. And these FRAM filters, they have a little black grip on the bottoms to allow you to really get your hands on it without slipping, which is one of the problems with the other filters that don't have that traction there. Hands get all grippy, all slippery, and you just can't tighten the filter up anymore. Okay, so now once that's on, we're going to go and just snug it up like as much as you can with your hand. Sometimes just an eighth of a turn more, just to snug it up. If you can't, that's as far as it goes. And once we put the filter in, the next step is we're going to put the drain plug in. And whoops, let me make sure you're in view there. It's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Tighten it by hand at first. Once it's on good, screw it all the way down with your fingertips. Then you'll put your wrench on it and tighten it up. If you know the torque specifications, you can put a torque wrench on this and snug it up as much as the proper specifications require. You want to make sure you don't make it too tight, because a lot of these parts are made out of aluminum, and aluminum is soft, and you make it too tight, you could strip it, and then you have a bigger problem on your hands than just an oil change. On the top, the filler is beyond or underneath this. It's very difficult to get a regular funnel in there, so you're going to need something with a hose. So in this case, we have a funnel with a hose that we kind of rigged up on there so that we can get in and not pour oil all over our engine. But just to be safe, we're also going to take some paper towels and we're going to kind of wrap up our little tape job right there to make sure if any oil does seem to leak out of there, we don't get it all over the place. One of the least fun parts about doing an oil change is taking the old oil and putting it back into a container or several small containers, quarts, and then bringing it back to, let's say, Pep Boys or AutoZone or whatever to dispose of it or recycle it. So the problem is it tends to spill. So again, make sure you have something underneath it, and if the oil's up this high, you can see how it splashes around like that. So this is a two-person job no matter what. You're going to have to get some help. Drill.
Is there a whole bunch of oil?
You're going to put the shroud back on in the same way that you removed it.
Damn it. How come did you have to do this?
And last, you always want to check to make sure your oil level is up where it's supposed to be. Get your car on a level surface. So we pulled it out of the garage, we were on the street.
I forgot a paper towel.
And you're going to use a paper towel, you're going to pull the dipstick, wipe it once, and make sure it looks good. Well, it looks to me like it's overfilled, I don't even know.